Hi there. Welcome to City Skylines for Beginners tutorials. This is episode 42, and we're going to start out by getting the CREMS into the beachside and nightlife zoning areas that we didn't get in yet. We got all of our as you can see, we have lots of dead bodies here that aren't being picked up. So let's put everything, and everything is on hold. So we're going to put a crematorium right here so that it can very easily, I think I'll put it here, so it can very easily, and you know what, that's just a bad place for it. It's just not a good place to put something that isn't that happy. So let's put it down in here. This is all beachfront. We'll stick it back in here where we took one out earlier. Okay. Fits perfectly because that's where we had it before. Okay, now that's going to cover the entire zoned area that has all of these dead bodies showing in it. If you look at our zoning, it's all of this area where there are dead bodies and all of this area where there are dead bodies, and the only other place where we have dead bodies is over here in the nightlife area where we also don't have a crematorium. I'm going to put the crematorium, however, probably right along here, so it's not down in the nightlife area. If you were out having a good time, you wouldn't necessarily want to see that, would you? Right? So we'll stick it right here, and that way it'll cover all of this nightlife section going all the way out. Need a road first. Little tiny one. Actually, probably a good idea to have it over here. Not sure why I'm having trouble here. And it's going to need water and it's going to need electricity, so if I put it in far close enough, it'll already have water, but I'm going to move this out just a little bit. And electricity, I think, is going to have to be installed one way or another. I'm thinking we can run some business up along here, and that will carry the business. There we go. And that is in the nightlife area, so that'll be nightlife. And then we can put the crematorium right back here, and a park right here, so that it will keep all those parks you don't have, so I'm not going to tell you to use those. We'll put this one right here. There. That'll kind of hide the crematorium from people that are in the nightlife here. And what the heck, let's put one here too, huh? And that way nobody sees the crematorium, but it does its job. Okay. And it's going to be hollering for electricity here until we get some buildings in here that will see. There it is. There it goes. It's asking for electricity already. I was kind of hoping we'd get the buildings in faster, but they're not coming in, so we'll go ahead and just temporarily just temporarily putting in a little bit of electricity. These guys here, so that they can carry the electricity out there until we get some buildings in here. Then we can take these out. Okay. Now that takes care of all of our crematoriums. We should be seeing the hearses should be taking care of this very quickly, and very quickly we should see all of these skulls disappearing. Okay, see all these skulls? You should see a lot of these little black hearses, like that guy right there. As a matter of fact, let's go in here and let's watch these guys come in here. Okay. There's the hearse. Here come the guys looking for the dead body. I gotta get situated here. And there they go. And that's going to happen all over the city. All over the city. Because we just put in hearses in this area. And they're going to be taking care of a lot of the problems that are in this area right now. I do want to check one thing, and I don't know if I can do it. Let's see. Options. Enhanced hearses. Yes, I can. Hearses prioritize the corpses with the red signs for pickup. Okay, I have that one set, so they should be stopping off after the parks, which are always the most important. They'll be going after all of the ones that have, if they haven't done them already. Oh, it looks like they've grabbed a lot. We used to, remember we had a whole lot of red signs here. Right through here we had a whole lot of red signs. They're all gone already. The hearses have already taken them before we could even go look. See? All gone. Okay. Down here on this end, we have more. And they'll be down here to grab these very quickly. This is also under the same zoning. So like this guy right here, he should be seeing a hearse. He's got that red sign, okay? Anytime now he should be visited by a black hearse that should take care of his little problem. This fella right here with the red sign. And here come a bunch of hearses. There's one there. So any minute now there should be hearses traveling through here, and they should grab these. Here comes one right there. Let's see if that hearse right there has room for one more. Let's see if he stops there. Bingo! Grabs the red sign first. Fills up, headed back. Okay, so our hearses now are doing their job. We do have one other thing we need to take care of. Besides all these little dead bodies, we have a lot of this going on. Not enough workers. Very simple to take care of. We're just going to go in here and make another street. Let's see here. Let's put it right along here. Having a little trouble getting my stuff to work here. Okay. So I think this should work. Okay, we'll put that one in, and then we'll run it along here as well, if it'll let me. Okay, then we're going to put in only on the inside section here. Room for a lot of people to move in. And I'm going to take all of these out because I'm going to put parks right along here. And then on the back side of the parks, I'm going to put another road and put more houses along that. And because of that, I also need to run another road here, because this is a main thoroughfare. We don't want to put houses or parks on that. There. I need to see if I have 4 deep on this. No, I don't. I've got 3 deep on one, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's 3 deep on squares on this one rather than 4 like that. And you need 4 to have a decent sized house. So this is in the beachfront residential next to the forestry department, just so that you know where, if you're still following along and creating as you go, you'll know where. Okay. Okay, I want to get at least 4 deep in here. So you go down here and you look at the squares. Okay, you've got 4 deep along there. Here you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you start your road here and go across, you can see that the blue is not running into those other squares, which is what I was trying to avoid. That's as close as I'm going to get it to looking decent. Okay, and then down here, we're going to do the same thing. These guys are going to be unhappy for now, but they're not going to be unhappy once we put new housing in here for them, which is right along here, except I don't want it. I got that right? Yes, that's going to be housing. This is going to be park. Okay. There's a method to my madness here. Okay. Park. I'm just trying to figure it out. Okay, if the park goes in here, and the houses go in there, and I did it wrong again. Well, shoot. Did exactly what I did wrong on the other side. Needs to come out a little further. So we'll start it right about here and go across. There. Now we have room for housing and a park behind it for these guys, which is what I was trying to accomplish. Okay. And this is not, and this will be, but not that way. I think I will put housing along here. Yeah. And housing along here, and along here. There we go. Okay. And then people can walk along here and see the large park. Now the large park is going to be made up of parks that we're going to create. So we won't worry about those yet. Right now we just need to get workers in here. And in our next episode we'll make parks. Okay. But right now we just need workers. I'm going to do this other section the exact same way, but I'm going to put you on hold while I do it so we don't use up tutorial time. It's going to be the same setup, and then I'll come right back in for you. Putting you on hold. Okay, now we have another park area here and another park area here with greenery around it, but we have to have water. So let's run our water pipes across this entire area. Helps if you have a mouse that works, which I don't necessarily have. Would be nice if I did, but those are the breaks. Okay, then we can come from this one, go down this way to cover that. Now you can cover these any way you want to, but this is the way I'm choosing to do it. There. Okay, now that whole area is already zoned in for people to move into, and people are doing it already. And those little water guys are going to go away as soon as they get their water. Now, what we need to do now is as soon as people move in here, we're then going to delete these. I'll show you with just one. Okay, we're going to take them out of there by taking the green residential, then going up here, but instead of left clicking, you right click and it takes it out. And all of those will disappear and wind up down here instead. Now you want to keep an eye on this area down here, which is your demand bars, because down here on your demand bars, it tells you, get that out of the way, you have demand bars down here by your city name, and when you have green and it says a demand for residential, you can eliminate residential from another area and it'll pop into where you've made a new place for it. If though, like right now, you don't have any, there's a little tiny bit here that you can't see because I can't get this, I don't think I can get the recording thing down any further. No. So there's a little bit more demand that you cannot see for residential. So I'm going to go ahead and go back in to residential, make sure I've got the small houses, and then right click to get rid of those so that they will bounce in here. The reason I'm doing that is I want to put, for these buildings back here, I want us to put in a park that's say 5 squares deep. I think we can manage 5 squares deep all the way around. So that's what I'd like to do. And to do that, we also have to make a park that's 5 squares deep. So we're going to go to do that. So we are now going to save the game. And it is episode 42. So we'll just go to beginners 41 and change the 41 to 42 and save it. Then we can go into making parks. And first we have to quit to the menu, main menu. That's where we go to get into our tools, which will let us make a park. Oops, I guess I should put that on hold. Of course, the minute I put it on pause, it pops to this. So, okay, so we're going to Tools, we're going to Asset Editor, we're going to say New, and we're going to say Select for the template, or whatever one you chose for your map. And now we'll put you on pause while it goes through its hints. Okay, I forgot to take it off pause, and I didn't know whether or not I got you this far. So you're back to the main menu, you go to Tools, you go to Asset Editor, you say New, you say Select, and I think probably right here is where I put you on pause last time. So I'm going to do it again, but this time I'm going to take it off when we get where we're going. Okay, pausing. Okay, this is where I should have brought you out last time. Probably. So now you say, it'll take you to the asset importer and you say park and you say continue. And you're going to wind up with just a big green square. Now this is going to get changed. You're going to make it as wide as you can. So 12 over here in properties becomes 16. So that makes it 16 wide, and 8 over here becomes 5, because remember when we were looking at our map, we didn't have much more room for to have the houses in and still have this any deeper this way, so that's the depth that we're going to give it. Now we're going to go to the tree down at the bottom, and we're going to go to, you can go to props or trees or paths. We're going to do the path first so we know what we're working around. We're going to run a path that is the cement path rather than the gravel path. You can use whichever one you want, down the middle. Now when I do it, I click here. All I get is distance too short to tell me that I got it open, and then I take it to this end and let go, and it puts the path in. Now yours is going to have a little blue ball here, and it's going to go across in a blue line, and then when you let go it'll make this thing. But I think I've got so much in my computer now that it's trying to eliminate things that I don't absolutely need in order to let me keep what I have. So because of that, I can no longer see what I'm doing. Either that or one of the mods I downloaded has eliminated that little goodie, which I really needed, but I can do without it. Okay, then I'm going to run one from here. Oops, I didn't want to do it that way. We'll go grab this and get rid of that piece. Okay, get rid of the bulldozer. Try again. This time, we'll click out here first, then come across here. Go from, I'm going to have trouble here, aren't I? Okay, we'll try again. There, that was all I wanted. Just a little tiny short one that will tie up with the road in front. Now we're going to go to the trees, and we're going to grab these little bushes. Now you can put whatever you want to. You just right click wherever you want the bush to be. I'm going to put a couple of other things here, so I want to make my bushes. Okay, there. And then we're going to, because you have only these trees to work with and none of this stuff, but you do have from the last promenade we made the weeping willow, so we can use that at the front. We'll put them right here. And then we'll go into the props. Now most of these I don't like, but there is one down here. That's a standing stone. I'm wondering, okay, that's cute, but I wanted the big one. How big it, well, we'll get this one first. I want standing stone number 5. I'm going to put one here, one here. Get down here where you can see what I'm doing. One here, and one here. Now if I right click, I can twist it a little bit this way. Oh, wait a minute, I have to turn that off first. Okay, then if I right click this, I can twist it by just moving my mouse a little bit. Sorry, I got interrupted. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this one a little bit. And then I'm going to come down here. Now you can do anything you want to, you know, with any of these. These are all called props, and you can do just about anything you want to with them. I'm just going to grab this little tiny bench, stick one here, one here, one here, probably put one out here, and one down here. Okay, then I'm going to grab the tables, put one here, one over here, one back in here. Okay, then I'm going to go get water features. The big one I like to use because people like to sit on it. It's the only one that people want to sit on. And I'll put the other one here. Okay, now that I have everything done that I want, I have to get out of those, and now I can go over and I can right click on this guy and move him wherever I want, and I think I'm going to put him up here closer. There. Now I have everything in here that you have on yours already, so I'm not going to use a lot of the flowers and things that I have because you don't have them yet. So then we come down here to what looks like the water source that we used to use when we were terraforming ages and ages ago, right? Okay, so this is a marker, but it is now a marker for people hanging around. It's called a hang around marker. You do not want the big one. It's huge. Look how big that is. Okay. Unless you want to have a huge number of people in your park, in which case, yeah, you could stick one right there if you wanted to. But then there'd be a whole lot of people there all the time. Well, we'll put it there just to show you the difference. And then the little one that I always like to use, I usually put maybe one over here and one over here. And that's usually about all I put in. 3 is usually enough for me, and I usually put the little one in here, but we'll put the big one in just so you can see the difference. Okay, now the park is made, but there's two more things you have to do. You have to go in and do the general building, and down here at flattened terrain in this area, flattened terrain, you want to make sure it has the blue light on it. Electricity has to be at 0. Gameplay common. Construction cost is not $500, just make it $10. And fire hazard can stay 0. Fire tolerance, make it 100. That way nothing burns up. Garbage accumulation, say 0. And maintenance cost is at 100. Say 2, just 2. 2 is enough. I mean, how much? What kind of maintenance is there? You mow the lawn, right? Everything else grows and just sits there. Okay, tourists is at 50, 50, 50. You can leave it that way. You don't want to have too many in there. Water is at sewage accumulation 0, water accumulation 0. Leave it like that. Entertainment accumulation is at 50. I usually say 100. I don't want to go too much because sometimes that fouls up the game. The 400 for entertainment radius I do change to 800. That just makes the big circle around it bigger, that makes people happy. So at least I'm pretty sure that's what that does. So that's where I put that. Okay, so then if we take all of this back down so it's out of the way. There, it's not going to go down, is it? Okay, so then you want to take pictures of this before you go to save it. And these are called standing stones. So we're going to call it, I'm going to call mine Park-Standing Stone. But before I do that, I go down to the sprocket down here at the bottom, and it's an asset editor setting. All it is it's taking pictures that you can see in other spots when you need to know what you're getting, which is always good. So this first one is a snapshot tool. You just come up here and click. Oh, and I got 2 and I didn't want them. Okay, then you go to the one on the other far end, and it's just as big. There we go. And again, you click and you get a picture. Then the one in the middle is much smaller, so you have to rotate your scroll bar on your mouse back a little bit to get it to be inside the black area, and then click. There you go. Then come down to the sprockets, open it up, and now you're going to save this park that you've created using the sprocket at the top. Click the sprocket, you'll get pause menu, and on it says save asset. Click that. Now you want to, over here where it says asset name under the pictures, you want to put your name for the park. I always call mine park dash whatever I want it to be. That way all of my parks are in one place over here in this section and easier to find when I'm looking for them later. Okay, park, I'm going to say standing stones. And I already wrote in stroll through willows, fountains, and standing stones. And here where it says New Asset down at the bottom, highlight it and put whatever you want your name to be. I'm going to say Park-Standing Stones. And I'm going to say on my standing stones 16R for road and 5D for deep, so that I know when I look at it later, and I need to put it up here too, 16R 5D. So I know the size of it when I see it in the other locations. I don't have to wonder. Now you're almost done, but don't say save. Now this is the correct picture here, I think. Yeah. If it isn't the correct picture for you, you just hit this bar until you get the right one. Mine were both the same. Okay, and this is obviously not the right picture, so click in it until you get the right one, and there it is. And then click in this one until you get the right picture. Okay, so then you can say save. And now you have saved your asset. But before we go back, let's make one that is a little shorter. So instead of 16 wide, it will be 8 wide. Okay. Now the only part that's going to be in the park is this part that's in here. So the first thing you want to do is move into the park everything that you want to keep. So you just right click whatever you want, like this tree, and move it in and let go. Right click, move it in and let go. See how far out I can get here. Okay. And I might even put one in here if I can get it to, yeah. Okay. And then of course I love keeping my fountains and my benches. And I just need to move these guys around so that they fit in a little better now. I think I'm going to put this fountain, because there's more room for it, I'll put one fountain up here, and this one has more room down here. So I'm going to grab this one. I hope I'm doing this so you can see it. I should have done this earlier. I'm going to grab it and move it in here. I'm going to take this little gathering goodie and stick it up here. And I think for this tiny park, that's all I'm going to use. I'm going to take this one out. Maybe I can... I went to grab the bulldozer. I'm going to grab the edge of this so that I don't accidentally take this path out, I'm hoping, and click on it. Of course not. It won't let me. You have to keep it in. There we go. Now maybe I can get rid of it. Sometimes you just have to play with them. There we go. Okay, so then I want to make certain I get rid of the bulldozer again. If you accidentally doze something out you didn't want to, you can always go get another one. So not to panic. I think I'll put that one right there. And then this can go down here. Okay, now we have everything in it that we want to keep. Oops, except for that little bench, which I think maybe I'll put over here since there's more room. Now these others that are still left out, unfortunately this whole thing is going to come off when I bulldoze it. But you can't leave this on, or it will hang out off the park when you do that. Something you probably don't want to do. Although it would be fun someday to leave one sticking out like this and see if it plops down that way. It might suit your purposes, you know, for some things. With my S, W, A, and D, I'm moving it back and forth like this so that I can get rid of the pieces that are not part of the park now. Now when I do this one, it's going to take the whole thing out. And I'm going to have to start all over with that road. Okay, road. Roads are in the decoration with the trees. They're not where the road is. I don't know why they have the road on there. Okay, so then we've got the road piece, and I'm going to go from here to here, and let me see if it'll let me. No, it didn't. That was not what I wanted. I want one that goes straight across here. And sometimes it's hard to get it to do what you want it to do. You just have to keep trying. Okay, so let's try going just halfway, like this far. And then we'll try going from here. There we go. Mine will work a little differently from yours. I explained that. You're going to have, well, maybe I didn't. You'll have a blue ball that shows up here when you right-click. And then as you drag it across, there'll be a blue line. And then when you click here, you'll see the road. Same thing here. I don't know if I showed you that in the beginning or not. Okay, so now you have a new park. It's smaller. It's 5 by 8. So you now want to take more pictures for the smaller park. And you'll start with the big picture. I don't know if I got it or not. And then the semi-large picture. Right-clicking and then waiting for it to accept the photo. And until you hear that clicking sound, it hasn't done it. There we go. Okay, and the one in the middle, which is little. And if it comes up with black on it like that, don't worry about it. This is just a picture to show you what you have. So not a big deal. Then down here to the sprockets and say, oh, okay, all of this is going to be the same. You don't have to redo it. That's why I have you do them all now, because you're going to want littler pieces for littler spots. And here you say Save Asset. And you can start out with this one, and the only thing you're going to do is change the 16 to an 8. And over here you're going to change the 16 to an 8. Just click on it, backspace over it, put in an 8. Okay, and then of course you want to take the new picture. There it is, little tiny. Clicking here until you get the small one. There. And then say Save. Okay, now it has saved that one. We're going to make one more that is only 2 deep. It's just for fill-ins. And that one, 2 wide. Now, that's all it has. And you probably only want to have one of these as a gathering. And you could just gather it there. And if you wanted to, you could put another gathering spot back here. And maybe one fountain here and one fountain back here. Anything more than that is probably too much for this little park. Maybe one bench. Now that's what I'm doing. You don't have to do that. Keeping in mind you got to take these out. And this. And then put in whatever new roads you want. I'm just going to put one that goes across like this. Because it's just a little tiny park. You don't need anything coming to the front. Okay, and all this that you didn't use, again, go back, get your bulldozer, doze it all out so it doesn't. There we go. There, now you have your tiny park. Get rid of the dozer before it creates hell and damnation where you don't want it to. And I think I might even move this little tree over a bit, if I can. Oh dear, I didn't realize I still had that. Well, since it's there, you might as well leave it there. Problem is now I'm trying to grab the tree. There we go. Put it over here so it's not quite so obvious. There. And maybe put this bench over here so it can be seen. Or maybe even back here. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes accidents make a better picture. And now you can, with your mouse, you can scroll left and right to twist it like this if you want to get a better photo. Okay, let's see if we can get a picture of that. Again, you don't have to, I'm sorry. Again, you don't have to change any of this except for that size of the width across the front. Everything else is already the same as it was before and doesn't need to be changed. So, getting a photo. Okay, well that one's already there. We might as well take it. And then we can go to this one. Well, we should probably go to this one. It's always bigger and okay, and then I don't know about your computer, but mine sometimes SSS and scroll forward will get you closer to the middle. Okay, and then take a picture. Okay, now everybody's covered. I think, yeah. Okay, you've got all three of your pictures. You've got all this the same. Go to the sprocket and save. Save asset. Left click until you get the picture of your new park. Remember, it's the little short one. And it'll look like whatever you created. And again, change the 8 now. The 8R is now a 2R. Both on the asset name and the title down here. They show up in different places, so you want it in both spots. Okay, and then say save. Okay. Now you can go back and see save asset or load asset. Say load asset, just to take a look. Now I've got a bunch of stuff in here, but yours will say whatever you said. I said park standing stones, so it's going to be down here near the bottom. Oh, it'll probably be at the very bottom the first time. Now down here, it'll be at the bottom now, but later on it'll be in alphabetical order, so it would actually wind up in here for me. But right now, I've got standing stone park standing stones, 16 wide, 8 wide, and 2 wide. So now we're going to cancel that and go to quit, to main menu. And we're already at 42 minutes, so I'll show you real quick how to pop this in, and then we'll actually play with the park that we have created. We'll make a lot of parks in our game with it. But first we had to make it, and that does take time. Okay, so now we're going to load our game, and we're going to go to beginners 42 ended, or whatever you named yours, and load it. Okay, I'm going to pause you for this. Okay, we're back in the game, and we are now going to plop in right here where we took these houses out. Right there, where we took the houses out, or where we, told it that we didn't want housing anymore. We're going to put in a park here for these people to look at. And now all we have to do is go to parks. And then in the pictures, you will see all of these that are at the end here. The game has them automatically. But then you're going to scroll through, and yours will be probably right here. Okay? Because you've only made the one, which was this one. Right here. It was the promenade before this. So now we're going to go find your little parks. There's one. There's another one. Please be all together. Of course not. They never are. Oh, yeah, they are. Okay. So here's the Standing Stone Parks 16 wide. So grab that one and come over here and plop it right here. And now for each one of these, you can just use that one all the way through, or you can come grab this 8 wide and put it in, but you don't want to slam it right up against the other one. You want to give at least 3 spots between. I'll get down here where you can see that better. And there's a reason for that. Okay, and there's the little one. We'll just put that in so you can see, oops, the little one, so that you can see how tiny that is. And again, 3 wide between them. Then we'll go to the big one again. Now you can put them in all just the big ones if you want, but like this, like so, all the way across. But keeping 3 spare, unused sets of squares in between, like right here. Okay, now we come over this far and we have fewer. So let's go ahead and take these folks out by right-clicking this area. Okay, now that that is out of there, we can go in and put the parks back in. Click the tree, go back to the park. You've got the long one. So go ahead and put another long one in, and another long one. Now another long one won't fit here, right? And this is why you made the smaller ones, because a long one won't fit. So how about the 8 wide? 8 squares wide will fit in here. And I'm going to put it 2 because I want 2 squares at least on each side of it so it can be connected to the roads. And then way over here, you might be able to get an 8 wide in here. Yeah, we can. Okay, there you go. Now, close this out. Now, the neat thing about parks is they also carry electricity. If you go down to the electric here, you'll see that these parks have they carry their own electricity through as long as you keep them only 3 marks apart. Sometimes you can even go 4, I think. Okay, so right in here, these houses and these houses don't need these two get down here where you can see. They don't need these 2 guys anymore because the parks are making certain that they keep their electricity. So we go to the bulldozer, we take these 2 out right there, and I don't think we need that one either, except that it's connected to somebody else. Oh yeah, it's connected to this park down here. Got to keep it for now. We'll fix it. It'll change later. Okay. Now later on we're going to put a path between each of these little parks, but not now because we're already at 47 and I wanted to at least get a chance to walk through it. So we're going to come down here at the end where we started our new parks. Those are not the trees that I thought I put in there, but oh well. Okay, I guess I put in a different tree than I thought. I thought I put in the little bushes in the background, but that's fine. Those are good too, especially with those big stones. Okay, so we're going to roll forward. Get out of that. Roll forward a little bit and jump down into the park. Looks like somebody might have already discovered it. This is our park that we just created. Not too shabby, huh? Nice park. And somebody else has already got their house behind it. And there should be people in this soon. Now, like I said, in the next couple of episodes, we will go ahead and right here, we'll put a path through, a connecting path. And that way people who come into this park can go back to the other one if they want. And people will eventually start walking through it. And these little stones kind of give some depth. There's one person in the park already, and we only just plopped it down. That's not too bad, huh? Okay, these stones on the back of this park kind of give it some depth for kind of as a balance against those big apartment complexes off on the right, I think. Okay, so this is our parks, and there's already people in them. There's a guy sitting at that table already. See this fella here? Okay, that guy is a tourist. All the tourists are chubby little fellas with shorts. All of them. At least all the ones I've seen. I don't think the game can have too many different people, so they just have duplicates of everybody. And I believe I see somebody already sitting. There's a lady sitting on, like I said, people like to sit on these guys. They love to sit on this fountain. That's why I like to use this fountain. Where did she go? She just up and disappeared on us. I guess she's shy. And here's another lady in the park. Okay, pretty cool, huh? I just love this. I love being able to walk through our parks after we make them and see how pretty they are. And now when you're walking down through the neighborhood or driving down through the neighborhood, even if you're driving through the neighborhood, you're not looking at buildings on both sides. See, isn't that prettier to have something like that? I think that's beautiful. And you made it. You just made it and put it in there. Can't get any better than that, right? Okay, that's the end of this episode, only because we have got 51 minutes already, and I need to close this one out. But we'll see you again in episode 43, and we'll continue playing around with parks and other little goodies. And putting in bike lanes in this area would be nice too. So we'll be doing a lot of fun things, but I think maybe on episode 43 we'll start out with maybe a drive-through somewhere. I'm going to do first person because we really did a lot of work on this one. Okay, see you in episode 43. Bye.